This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess Jewells Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
This is Jessika Black on Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and CastBox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it is a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the Maiden, Jessika Black.
That was an awesome intro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, here I am, the Iron Maiden, Jessika Black.
Absolutely. And we like to do it big here on Wrestling With.
That's the only way to do it. It's go big or go home.
Absolutely. And when is the next voyage of the Iron Maiden, event-wise?
The next voyage, or we're looking into we're wrapping up the 2023 season here. I have a few shows that I'm wrapping up locally in Quebec, right. and then the beginning of 2024 we're going to look into going into Western Canada, possibly maybe Mexico, but we'll see. That might be a little later in the year. And yeah, just traveling Canada as much as possible, actually.
Are these, in things in the works? Are you giving us spoilers, or are these just things you're planning on doing?
Well, there's definitely, I'm definitely going to Saskatchewan, Canada, in the spring. I'm looking into going into British Columbia and I'm not sure when. Those are things that were in the works, and same thing with Mexico, things that are in the works. But so I will not say more than that yet.
Fair enough. There is some great female wrestlers on the west coast of Canada.
Absolutely. And it's a lot of I pride myself and I want to wrestle everybody, and there's a lot of wrestlers out there that I haven't wrestled that I would really like to wrestle.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a brand. Well, it is a completely different territory on this side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
So for Facebook, it's Jessika Black. It's just Jessika Black, and on Instagram, it's Jessika Black Iron, and on Twitter, it is Jessika E Black.
All right.
Or it's not Twitter anymore. Sorry, on X. I'm not used to it yet.
And merchandise?
Merchandise. It's through me. Contact me through. I don't have an official site. Just contact me on any of those platforms, and we work things out.
Okay. And you don't have to go looking for her social media. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and CastBox.
Appreciate that. Make it easy as possible for everyone.
Absolutely. Now, you work for Extreme Zone Wrestling and QCW. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
Both are really good companies. I've been with Extreme Zone Wrestling for a little bit longer. They're also a little bit of a they've been a company for a little bit longer, and but I'm very grateful to them. They've given me a lot of opportunities, and they're a really fun place to go. They've had a couple of change in venues. The latest venues is in a nice little bar, and they are very welcoming. The crowd is great. I'm also thankful for them because they were one of the few places that offered outside venue during at the end of the pandemic. So when there wasn't a lot of wrestling, they were open for business. And QCW is a great new company up near Quebec City. And their new company, I think they've had something like 5 shows now. I've been on every show, and we're building the brand, building my name there. The fans love to hate me, and and actually just recently last week had a great match with the Yami, who's from Mexico, and it was awesome. It was really just a lot of fun working a program and just a lot of fun.
Now you mentioned working outside. I can't imagine that's it doesn't get cold working outside in Canada.
Oh, it does get cold. It 100% does get cold, and it's not. I don't recommend it. It's you got to be covered up, and especially that when you start working, your heart rate is up, you start sweating, but then it's cold after, and your adrenaline goes down. You got to be careful, but it was just something during the pandemic that with all the restrictions that we had. Outside was one of the options that wrestling companies could do, but not everyone had the facilities, and Extreme Zone Wrestling had the facilities. So it was refreshing. It was one of the first companies to start up again, and it was nice to see everybody again, bring all the fans back together, and get back in the ring.
All right. Now, one name I came across that you not only had a match with, but had a pretty good rivalry with, is one Jewells Malone.
Yes.
Friend of the show. Always love talking about Jewells. And obviously a respected name in independent pro wrestling. So what was that like? Competing against Jewells.
Jewells was great. Actually, I worked with her. She was actually the last. I can't believe I'm bringing this up again, but she was actually the last match before the pandemic hit. She was the first time I worked with her, and it was the last match before everything shut down. And it was a pretty good match. Everything went well. Everything went smoothly. Everyone was happy. And then I got a chance to do a little tour with her in Saskatchewan in the prairies, and we did a short little weekend tour, and got to know her better, got to work with her more, and really like a great human being. Just she was a joy to be around, and I will toot my own horn. I think I'm ready to say that we had one of the best matches on the tour. One of the nights we main evented, and it was a really like fun, hard hitting, just action packed match that we were both really happy with, and that everyone was happy with after. So I have nothing but good things to say about her as a wrestler and a human being.
Oh yeah. And I mean, what does something like that mean to you to be the main event of a show? It's not every day. It's not usual that the girls go on last.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. I feel that when I got into wrestling, it wasn't even something that fully crossed my mind that could even be a possibility, because before the women's revolution in WWE, there really wasn't a lot of women main eventing anything. So the first time it happened, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but the first time it happened, I wasn't overly stressed about it, because I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna every time I'm in the ring, whether I'm the first match, second match, last match, I want to have the best match. I want to do the best that I can. So it didn't fully, I don't feel it fully hit me until after the show, where I was just like, no, wow, I was the main event. That's amazing. Like that, it means I must be doing something well, or we must be doing something well, like the women that main evented, and since then, again, it hasn't happened often, It happened that one time with Jewells, and it felt good to have that pressure. I really enjoy having someone put faith in me and wanting to make make them happy with their decision, like having to prove myself and not just being an attraction match, that a throwaway match, that the promoter's like, okay, we're gonna have a women's match, and it's just just go ahead and wrestle, and I go and I wrestle and I do the best I can. But again, having like someone feel that they can, that you can main event, and then having that pressure that you don't want to disappoint them, and you want to prove anyone who's doubt women or who doubt me wrong. I actually really like that pressure. I but I think it helps me it helps me focus more. It helps me, it just puts more importance on things. So I'm all for it and I'm ready for it.
And another, moment where hard work pays off was you won, I would say, a wrestling scholarship to the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, that was, you say hard work pays off. That was a lot of hard work. That was a lot of stress. It was some of the biggest stress I think ever lived for, because it was something I really wanted. I really, really wanted to win that scholarship, and I put all of my energy into doing the best that I could, and to have it pay off in the end it was such a gratifying moment. I rewatch the video sometimes of like my reaction, and I can't even it's just like you see that it's like so meaningful to me. And then actually going 3 months to Georgia, the Nightmare Factory was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and a great experience that I would that I will cherish forever. I learned so much, met so many great people. QT Marshall, Cody Rhodes, Billy Gunn. They were so helpful, and really good coaches. They were very good at picking apart aspects of me that I thought that I hid well, or whatever it was, and just calling me out on it, and making me realize that what I needed to do to be better, and I'm very grateful for that.
So, did you scissor daddy ass?
I did not. I did not. No. I probably could have the last day, but I was, I'm very much I keep things professional. I'm also a teacher by day, so I'm like, it's business. When I'm there to learn, I'm there to learn, and so it was business all the time.
No, you mentioned, working so hard to actually get to the Nightmare Factory. I can't imagine, you're working so hard just to get to a point where they're probably working you even harder than getting to that point. No?
Well, you mean like over there, like in training, or?
Yeah.
So it was, yeah. So it's interesting because it is in 3 months. It was the most amount of training I'd ever done. It was a training camp, so we were training 6 times a week. So that's a lot of ring time. It's a lot of bumps. It's a lot of in the gym. It's a lot of that, which was great. But the funny thing is that I was doing something I enjoyed doing. So it wasn't, so I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel worn out. I didn't feel like overwhelmed, or after, like at the end of the week, I felt good. I felt rejuvenated, and felt like I could do this, because it was like, wow, I'm doing this 6 times a week. I'm training hard, and I still feel good. My body isn't giving up on me. I'm still pushing through. And it was easier than what I normally do at home, which is work 40 hours a week and wrestle. so it was kind of refreshing to just be able to focus on just wrestling for that amount of time.
I believe it accumulated where you were a part of the showcase the Nightmare Factory Showcase
Yes.
8, I believe.
I think so, yes.
I believe you wrestled Megan Myers.
I did, yep.
I mean, I believe, and I also believe that she was in the first ever class of the Nightmare Factory. So what was that experience like?
I know she was in our class. She did our camp at the same time as us. And she was really good. She, I'll say it now. She has a really hard-hitting forearm, and she's very her flexibility, her athleticism. I think was a very good juxtaposition to the type of wrestler that I am. Because I'm a little bigger, so I'm a little bit more of a powerhouse, and I do a little bit more power moves. It made the dynamic really, really cool, where she can shine her athleticism, I can shine a little bit of my power, and it's nice meeting women from all around the world that love wrestling.
Right.
It's just like, we're just trying to help each other out, help each other look good, and try to get us to the next level.
Now, during that time, was that when you had a match for the NYWC?
I believe that would have been, yes. No, that would have been way before. Sorry, no. I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that would have been way before. I want to make sure that I'm not getting my promotions mixed up. But no, that would have been way before. That would have been in 2000. I don't even remember which year, but that would have been way before.
Okay, fair enough.
yeah. but still a great experience.
How did that come about? Because I would be remiss if I didn't ask about the NYWC, because my co-host was actually trained there.
Okay, so that was when they were doing something with Marvelous Pro Wrestling with Japan.
Yeah.
And so they had I guess a showcase show and a mini tryout / what's the word? Seminar that they had, and I took part of it, and they asked me to be on the show the day after, so it was really great timing, and again, another case of, I think, hard work paying off too, and I was very thankful for that opportunity, and it was the start of I think me being able to branch out, but I tore my ACL after, so it stopped. It unfortunately, I think a month after the show, I think I tore my ACL, so it put a stop to my progress for a little bit.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were in there with impressive names. You teamed with Nyla Rose against Ashley Vox.
Yep. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun too. That's like and seeing where both of those women are now is great, and it also is a boost to my confidence, because I was able to hang with them, and don't think I looked out of place. So it helps me, give that I can do this, and that it's seeing their hard work pay off, and it's just very motivating to be able to see all that.
Now, can you tell us about wrestling Saraya Knight?
That was a lot of fun too. She kicked my ass from pillar to post. That was actually the first time that I main evented a show. Was against Saraya Knight, and it was very honestly. So it was a good experience. It was a very humbling experience for me, because it was, I guess, my first, other than Lufisto, would have been my first big name, like international star that I was wrestling, and just to see, and I didn't know how, again, like little old me, I was still a little bit new in the business. I had been in the business for maybe less than a year and a half, so it was like how she would have, how I would handle myself, how she'd treat me, but all very respectful. She taught me, I don't know if she knows that she taught me a lot in the match, but she really did. Looking back, I really did learn a lot about the match planning, about and just a couple of different things. And people still talk to me about that match. I still get fans being like, "Oh, I remember when you fought Saraya Knight," and we were like everyone was off their seats and very emotionally attached to the match, and it was so I'm happy. I'm proud about that.
I believe that was you did that match in Ireland, right?
No, that one was in Montreal.
Okay.
In Ireland, I did fight the NXT Women's Champion Valkyrie. I had one of her first matches when I went to Ireland. That was.
Wow.
It was one of her first matches too, though. So like she was young, but she was promising then, and she was very promising then, and everyone was saying how much potential she had, and we were in a 4-way together, so we didn't get to work closely together often, but like I saw that she had the energy and potential to go somewhere, and clearly she did.
Yeah. But I mean, back to Saraya.
Mhm.
You not only wrestled her, you have a W on her in
I
the main
do.
event.
I do.
So I mean, what does that mean to you to have a win over such a big and respected name?
Well, I think, and I think that what was that was a big deal for me. Like I kind of mentioned, like I didn't know how. I was very new in the business, so like how to handle these things, and or it's just how she would. It just again, to deal with me, and she was very again. She brought the fight to me. She really did. She was, to this day. She is the toughest fight I've ever had, and I'm proud to say that. But I did leave with the win. And I'm proud to say that I was able to, that I was able to get up after every single hit she gave me and fight back. And she really taught me a lot about the importance of, again, not giving up and fighting back, because it is worth it in the end, because you could win.
Now you also mentioned Lufisto.
Yeah,
Never not a big name in pro wrestling.
yeah, yeah.
And you've had multiple matches with her. So
Hmm.
what is that experience like? Not just having one match, but like having like a rivalry with, somebody that's so well known, respected, and obviously learning a lot from her.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to again. I'm lucky that I was able to wrestle her early in my career, and then more recently in my career. So again, and I don't feel I'm exactly the same wrestler as I was when I wrestled her early in my career. Again, I was able to learn about just learn about different things in wrestling, and about. Planning and just certain things, and then after being able, and I was very happy when I was able to fight her again, because I wanted to show her that it's like, look, I like, like I took those lessons, and hopefully you can see that it's like I've grown, and she's always really fun to work with, and I really do mean that. She's um like she's easy to work with in a way. She knows what she does well. She knows what she brings to the table, and she's confident in what she does. And it's easy to work with that. And I think, and I enjoy it a lot. I think all our matches have come out pretty good, and every time I actually do feel like I've become a better wrestler from after wrestling her.
I believe I'm getting this right. You wrestled her in a 14,000 seat arena.
Um, yes, at what was it called Olympia. Yes, in Montreal. Yes,
I mean,
that was my last match against her, and that was I think I'm not sure if we were opening or second, but I think we were opening, and we had to get the energy up, and I 100% believe we got the energy up.
I mean, that must be, like an experience on its own, wrestling in front of that many fans.
Especially there in Montreal, the fans love their wrestling. They're not always the easiest crowd, but they, in the sense that they love good wrestling.
Right.
So you have to be a good wrestler, and it was a lot. They were into it. They were there. We kept them engaged. There was dueling chants for me, for her, and and we just were able to bring the house down. And again, it's great. It's a great feeling, because this is what we do wrestling for, right? Is to be able to, give the people what they want, and make them leave happy. And I think that's what we did.
Absolutely. Now, you worked AEW Dark against
I did.
Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford.
Yeah.
Your partner was Jeramy Prophet.
Mhm.
Can you tell us about that experience?
That was also one of those experiences up there that I'll never forget. We were when we were backstage, and they told us the match that we were getting, and I don't remember if I think we knew pretty early on that we were first match, and it was such a great feeling to be the first AEW match in Canada, because it was it was the Dark tapings, and we were the first match of the Dark tapings. So we were officially the first AEW match on Canadian soil, and myself and Jeramy Prophet, as proud Canadians, were very happy about that. And it was, and I'm actually very thankful for that, because it didn't give us time to be nervous. It didn't. Well, I was like. Jeremy was not nervous, because he never gets nervous, but like I didn't have time to get nervous. It was just like, this is great. We're in Toronto. I'm in front of I'm in front of Canadians. I'm in front of like my people. I love these people, and I'm just gonna go in there, and I'm gonna do what I do, and then it's gonna be fun. And it really was fun. I cannot say anything bad. It was such a great experience. Kip and Penelope were great. They were, and I really do mean that, they were great. They were very helpful, very giving, and it was, and I'm also very thankful that I got to experience it with Jeramy Prophet, because he's someone important to me, and so I was able to be in there with someone that I enjoy, and like experience it with him, and that meant a lot to me.
I was gonna say, it's not so often that just the big companies do mixed tag wrestling.
Yeah.
So and I mean, it's one thing, to have a singles match, but yeah, you were in there with a loved one.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful for that. They were starting to do a little bit more mixed matches at that time, because Sammy and Conti were I think the Mexico, or they were, they were the champions. So I think they were trying to test that out a little bit more. And I mean, it was just great timing, because like I said, to have that opportunity, how like I feel so lucky to be able to have done that with a loved one, and so it's like someone that I trust more than anybody, and to know that he was by my side, and then wants me to succeed as much as he does. I was so lucky, and I do feel that companies should invest more in mixed tags, because I think they can be quite interesting and quite entertaining.
Oh, for sure. I was a fan of the mixed match challenge that WWE did.
Yeah.
Miz and Asuka.
They were awesome. Yes, they were literally they were awesome.
When you're doing something like that, in AEW, is that a moment you take in the moment, or is that something that sets in afterwards? Like, wow, I did that.
So I used to be someone who would sit in afterwards, because when I'm in the moment, I'm working on this, but I try very. I used to be like, it's again, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's all business for me. It's I'm here to do something. I want to achieve whatever I want to achieve. So I don't have time to be nervous. I don't have time to worry. I don't have time to do all those things. I'll do those things later. So a lot of the times is I block out a lot of thoughts that might go the wrong way, and then I try to just focus. Now I've been working a little bit more on trying to be in the moment and appreciate things as they are. But I still think it's something afterwards that I can more reflect on and appreciate, because again, when I'm in the moment, like I'm a very much a work hard, play hard kind of person. So when it's time to work, it's time to work, and there's no time to think of anything else.
Was that match? Was that the first time you ever used your suit name in a match?
It was weird. It was. Yeah, we obviously I couldn't use Black because of Malachi Black, but
Right.
the thing is that my shoot name is Black in Italian, so it's not like I'm not just randomly Jessika Black for no reason. My shoot name is just Black in another language. Yeah, and I didn't know what they were going to do, because we didn't get a chance to ask them or them ask us. So I knew they weren't going to use that name, but I didn't know what they were going to do. So when I heard them say my real name, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah, because people were like, huh, she must be related to Malachi.
Yeah, which, I mean, I know they don't necessarily want that, but that's
right.
There's actually another wrestler on that show whose actual name is Black, like on his passport, on his birth certificate, and they had to change it too for him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, AEW doing something to protect their talent.
Yeah, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine.
Keeping on the topic of a one Jeramy Prophet, what are the advantages and disadvantages of teaming with your significant other?
So there are more advantages than disadvantages in my case, I want to say. And I'm not saying that because, again, because he's a loved one and all those things. I feel I truly trust him. And trust him not only in the ring, like physically to keep me safe, but also trust him in the sense that I know that he wants me to shine as much as he shines. So he... I know that I could put my faith in him, and oftentimes when we're alone in there, like when it's us against the other person, it's all on your shoulders. So having someone to be able to, bounce ideas off or rely on, or I think is really nice. When I used to watch wrestling as a younger child, I liked tag team wrestling the most. Specifically because of that, because I'm like, you always have someone that's got your back, but again, in women's wrestling, it's not something super, there's not a lot of women, so there's not a lot of women's tag teams. So now giving me that opportunity to do that with him, who I truly trust, and there's a lot of advantages. The disadvantage, there is there's more advantages than disadvantages, and there are some disadvantages, is that okay, this is an advantage and disadvantage, is that I really I want us to do well, so it's an extra pressure, because if I fail myself in a match, then it's just me that it affects. Whereas I don't want to, I want both of us to do super well, so it's an extra little pressure. So it's like an advantage disadvantage there. But I like pressure, so it's good. And we talk about wrestling sometimes too much. He absolutely loves wrestling. Wrestling's his life, and I mean I love wrestling, and it's a huge part of my life, and we talk about wrestling a lot, which is a good thing because again we bounce off a lot of ideas, but sometimes want to talk about something else. That's all. Don't tell him I said that.
Jeremy, maybe you're listening, maybe you're not.
Yeah. I think he might know deep down. I don't know.
No, it's one thing to be featured on, a poster or graphic or something like that. Your face was featured on a ring apron. And this
Yes.
is the first time I've ever seen this. So, what was that? How did you feel about that?
Actually humbling. That was so I got trained at Torture Chamber in Montreal by Geronix, and he was really or is I guess really good at showcasing his students, and his students that he believes deserve showcasing. And I remember he told us there was a big show coming up, and it was right around the time when I had torn my ACL, so I was injured and I was supposed to be on the show, but then I couldn't be on the show. But he's like, I was still going, obviously, to support everybody. And he's like, "Oh, I have a big surprise for you." And I was like, "I don't know what it is." And then I walk in, and that's what I see is just my face on the ring apron. And I'm like, it's pretty cool because I do feel like I'm immortalized there. And it really is just, to me, it's not a recognition of talent; it's a recognition of hard work, because I really do put a lot of hard work into everything that I do. So it was, so I was just grateful that my coach was able to recognize all the hard work and to validate that work by showcasing me in such a nice way.
And that's awesome. I actually love that. It's a recognition of hard work.
Yeah. Yeah, which we don't always get, right? We all work hard at our jobs, that in our lives, and we don't always feel like validated. So it's nice when it does happen.
Right. And I believe Jeremy came to your school and you suplexed him one time.
Oh yeah, that's my actual school where I teach. Yes, yes, it was a couple last year or the year before, with Jacques Rougeau. He was doing a little campaign, anti-bullying campaign, and Jeremy came to help just kind of support the wrestling aspect of it. So we had to show all the kids that I am strong and they shouldn't mess with me. So I suplexed Jeremy. They were all very impressed.
I was gonna say you got a loud pop.
Well, they were very impressed. Like these are they're some of those students I had taught since they were in grade 7, so they know me for a long time, and I kept my wrestling persona very secret. I'm a very private person, and it was actually a very stressful day for me because it was my wrestling persona, my teaching persona, and even with Jeremy being there, it was my personal persona. All of them were kind of merging. It was actually a very anxious moment for me. But then it was one of those moments that then I also, like what you said, like the kids popped so much, and a lot of them came to talk to me after, and seeing how like it was a validating moment for me there. Like I did something that, again, I was out of my comfort zone, but that the kids appreciated it, and I think it meant something to some of them. Some of them started coming to my wrestling shows, which I was super grateful for, and just trying to show them that to have courage and not give up. To me, is really important because we live in a world full of anxiety and bad things happening, and that you just have to find your path and go for it.
Alright. I think it's time again for that segment. Jessica's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Oh, that's hard. You're putting me on the spot. I'm a very, I like to keep things calm. Okay, let's see. um, okay, well, this is not bizarre, but it's something that'll stick with me. When we drove down to Georgia, so we drove from Montreal to Georgia. So it was like an 18-hour drive. It was me and Jeremy and a bunch of our wrestling bags and stuff in the car. And we drove down. We crossed the border. We were worried about the border. We didn't know what was going to happen, but that all went smoothly. And we got to our Airbnb, and I'm a huge, I love cats. I am a huge cat lady. And I was leaving my cats behind when we left for 3 months, which was a big deal for me. It was hard. I was leaving them with my parents. And when we finally got down to the Airbnb in Georgia, we were greeted by, I think there was like 4 stray cats just like at the door. And it was like, it was just, again, it's not overly bizarre, but it was just one of those things that was like those nice moments of like, okay, like I'm not home, but like this is a welcoming place, and this is like I'm on the right path because there's cats here. And then they were awesome, and they were like the cutest little cats. And it was nice to see. It was a nice moment, and not necessarily a bizarre moment, but a nice moment.
It's a sweet moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I could imagine that this could be a bizarre moment for you. You were on I Can See Your Voice.
Yes, I was. I was on the French version of I Can See Your Voice. Yes, that was fun.
Can you tell us more?
Absolutely. I love to sing. I absolutely love to sing. But unfortunately, people tell me I'm not a great singer. I think I'm a great singer, but I don't know, people say I'm not. Jeremy actually is the one who really started watching I Can See Your Voice, and he saw that there was a French version, a Quebec version, and that they were holding auditions, and he really like suggested that I do it, and I was whatever, busy working, and I'm like, okay, this could be a lot of fun. And I finally, like, I was procrastinating getting in touch with the people, and I finally got in touch with the people, and they're like, yeah, we're holding, like, you can send in your audition tape up until Friday. And I think I had messaged them on Tuesday, so I had like 3 days to make my audition tape. And again, thankful that Jeremy is so supportive, helped me film a great and amazing audition tape. I was very proud of my audition tape. And then I got the call. We had a couple of auditions. I think we was 3 rounds of auditions, and the people were so nice and so supportive. I guess they loved that I was a wrestler too, because they used the wrestler persona as that, and as my persona on the show. And it was such an amazing experience. I remember the day before the actual filming live, we were going through just rehearsals, and I remember waiting behind the curtain, just waiting to be called to go do my rehearsal for my song. And I was like, this is where I want to be. Like, and there's not a lot of times in life where I was thinking of wrestling, and I was thinking of everything, and I was just like, I just really do love performing. I'm not an extroverted person. I'm very shy and very private, but I still love performing. And I was like, this is great. I get to like be a wrestler now and sing, and I'm like, this is everything that I love doing, and just like exaggerate all. It was just so much fun. And it was funny because the guest singer, was a singer of, it was a song, he was performing a song that that I knew from my childhood, that had kind of a lot of meaning to me from my childhood. And so I wanted to get to the end, so I wanted to fool the contestant, and I didn't, and she guessed right away that I was a bad singer, and I was very sad. But this is a lesson to everyone out there. It is not over until it is over, because the producers loved my performance so much and my rehearsal so much that they said it doesn't matter, you will still get to perform with the guest singer. So I was told, do not get changed, you're staying on set, you're still going to the end, even if you got eliminated. We just loved your performance so much. And that was just amazing. It was just like, that's all I wanted. And just, again, one of those other like feel good stories that it's like, you keep working, keep doing things that you love, and it's never over until it's actually over.
Did you have that tag team championship, or did they provide that for you?
They provided it for me. They provided it. It's not mine. It was it was not mine.
All right. Now, can you tell us about the zombie walk?
Oh wow, that was a lot of fun too. That was one of those times wrestling outside in Canada, October 31st. Yeah, it was a cool little show. It was so the zombie walk is something that happens every year, October 31st in Montreal. They do a zombie walk, and so at the start of the zombie walk, they set up a ring and they had zombies versus people. So we had some of the wrestlers dress up as zombies, and we had matches. It was at that time, it was the biggest crowd that I had wrestled in. It was probably over 2,000 people, because it was just at the beginning of the March. So it was like everyone was there, and it was a lot of fun. It was the opponent that I wrestled then was Azael, and it was early on in her career, and I'm actually wrestling her for the second time. So it's like only since I wrestled her then once, and I'm only going to wrestle her for a second time now next week. So that's going to be really interesting too. So it's a lot of reminiscing. And then we dressed up the zombies and we walked and we spit blood all over the place, and it was a lot of fun.
All right. Now, can you tell us about your love of Assassin's Creed?
I absolutely love Assassin's Creed. I just started playing Assassin's Creed Mirage 2. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the historical aspect. I don't know. I was playing another game right before, and I was just like, not that I wasn't liking the game, but I was just like, it's okay. And then I put on Mirage. I started loading the game, and just from the opening scene, I was just like, this is just, the historical aspect, the sneakiness of it too, that it's not just like go in and kill everything. Right. There's strategy to it, and it's just such a beautiful game, and I'm so happy too that it's made in Montreal, and there's just so much good to it. The mythology behind it, I love. The idea that our DNA keeps memory from our ancestors, the idea that of the Templars versus the assassins, there's just so much in it that is just so, I don't know, it just speaks to me.
I haven't played Mirage yet. I do want to try it, because I've literally played every game. What is it? What was it called? The Viking one.
Valhalla?
Yeah. Valhalla, yeah. I couldn't really get into it just because, a Viking is the opposite of an assassin.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. But I did really I liked Valhalla a lot. I think I wasn't as much of a big fan of Black Flag and is that Black Flag and the one, the American Revolution one. I don't remember what the one was called.
Wait.
Yeah, it was just called. Yeah. I wasn't, not to say that I wasn't a fan, but I felt like the franchise was starting to, I don't know, kind of slip away. And with Odyssey and Valhalla, I thought it was getting back its groove. And I did like the stories behind it. But that is a very, very, very valid point that you say that Vikings are not assassins. That is for sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, Ezio's my guy. Part 2 is arguably one of not the best Assassin's Creed game, but just one of the
Oh,
best video
I
games of
would.
all time.
Yeah, I know. I would say it is the best of Assassin's Creed. I don't know if they'll ever beat 2. Ezio is he's just one of a kind, and there's yeah, no, he's so I feel like with Mirage they're trying to go back to that. I feel the main character, a little bit of a similar story at the beginning. So I feel like they're trying to recapture that. I don't think they ever will, but I feel they're trying.
I mean, if they make multiple games with this character, then possibly. But
Yeah,
Ezio was, we followed his story from literally the beginning to literally the end.
yeah.
Um, so
And
it's hard to get invested into a character when you only play as them for one game.
I agree, and I never looked into it, but I don't know why they haven't like continued a character for more than one game. I'm not sure if that's just not part of what they want to do, but it would be interesting to see the end of certain things. For some reason, even the one in Egypt, I was very curious about. Like, oh, I want to know how the story ends, and it's like, and you never get the follow up kind of thing.
Right. All right. Can you tell us about meeting Holly Holmes?
Oh, that was a lot of fun. That was quite an adventure. We Jeremy and I went to Vegas for International Fight Week. We are UFC fans, and we got there the first day, and we were just trying to find our bearings. And Jeremy saw that Holly Holm was doing a signing at a mall somewhere, and we're like, okay, cool. It could be fun to go see. Obviously she's one of the best female fighters in MMA, and
She took down Ronda
and
Rousey.
yeah. So it was very, and I was very like, and I wanted to meet especially as many of the female fighters as possible, just to get to see like how they are, and just to see that fighting spirit, and I find there's such inspirations to come through such a male dominated world, but still make it in like just make it as women together and be able to main event and all those things. So he saw this, and we're like, okay, cool, we'll go. And we put it in our GPS, and we're like, oh, we'll be able to walk. And we walked, I think, easily for an hour and a half in the desert of Las Vegas. And I was like, I was in my body was in torrential sweat, and I'm like, I'm gonna meet Holly Holm, and I'm going to look like absolute crap because I am melting, because I just walked for an hour and a half in the blistering sun of the desert. We weren't even on the strip anymore. We at least on the strip you can walk in and out of the hotels. Like we were walking down like a street with nothing around. And then it's funny, we got there and we were literally the last people in line. And so it was, we got worried. We're like, maybe they'll cut us off, but they didn't cut us off. She stayed for everybody, and she was really nice. She was really, really nice. She was very giving. She signed everything. We had a short conversation about her. She had just lost a controversial fight, I think against Caitlin Vieira, I think, and we both, Jeremy and I, thought that she had won and she shouldn't have lost. So we shared a little bit of that with her, and yeah, no, it was a lot of it was very cool, very cool.
All right. Well, that brings us to the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on the Jessika Black movie soundtrack?
Okay. So one of them would definitely be a Megadeth song. I'm thinking off the top of my head, I'm either struggling between She-Wolf or Reckoning Day. She-Wolf because it's a very powerful song about just like women empowerment in my mind, or Reckoning Day because it's very much about having, for me, I see it as having a chip on your shoulder and wanting to prove everybody wrong and wanting, and that has been the story of my life in wrestling and in my life in general, that I feel I have a very big chip on my shoulder, and I work very hard to just to be the best that I can be. So, but I'll still pick She-Wolf instead. So Megadeth She-Wolf will be one. Then I'm thinking I need to have one with a female vocal. I'm a huge fan of Nightwish. I think Wanderer by Nightwish, which is a song about travel and about having courage to leave places behind and just keep traveling and experiencing life.
Okay.
And the other one, I'm thinking an Iron Maiden song. You know, I feel like that would fit.
I would be disappointed if there wasn't one.
Yeah, right. I feel like yeah, and then it'd be Wasted Years from Iron Maiden.
Okay.
It's my favorite Iron Maiden song, and yeah, that's it.
Solid 3 picks still.
Mm-hmm. Not so bad.
Now that we got the soundtrack down, we go to casting. Who plays Jessica? And you can't say yourself because you are legally obligated to make a Stanley-esque cameo.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Yeah. All right. Okay. Who plays me? So this is, I feel like very not humble saying who I'd want to play me, but like, I'd love it if like Scarlett Johansson would play me. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
She's like hot and like does cool stuff. I'm like off the top of my head, she's the first one I thought of. So, I mean, I don't think I'm as good looking as her, but I think let's go with her.
Hey, it's your movie. You're producing it. We'll get into Scarlett Johansson.
There you go. All right.
Now, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you in your story, and who would play them?
These are very hard questions here. You're putting me on the spot. Okay, well, I definitely think, well, Jeramy would have to be someone, but who would play Jeramy? Jeremy's gonna be insulted by anyone who I say. I will not be able to say anyone that he will be happy with. But who can, okay, you know, I know the guy who played what was his name in Black Panther, the guy who he played the he became Black Panther after Black Panther died.
His sister became Black Panther.
Yeah, no, yeah, sorry. So his rival, sorry. He played Apollo, I think, also.
B. Jordan.
Is that him? Okay, if that's him. Like I think him. And again, Jeremy's not gonna be happy, but I think because he can be easily a heel and a face, and I think he has that good range of emotion that he'd be able to portray really well for Jeramy.
Yes, Michael B. Jordan.
Okay, yeah, okay, him. So him, and I think my parents would have to be in there. And you know what? My mom would. I'll give my mom like like a Meryl Streep or something. She'd be like that. I think that'd be good. Yeah. And I'd have to pick a friend. And I'd want to be able to like put all my friends into one, which is very hard. Who could be a good friend? Who would be a good friend? Let me think. I'm going through. You know what? Phoebe in Friends.
Okay.
Yeah, because she encompasses a lot of quirkiness that I enjoy in life.
Okay. This is sounding like a very interesting movie.
Right? I think you're motivating me. I think I need to invest in this. This is interesting.
And you could pre-order the tickets now.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Now, these are two exclusive questions just for Canadians from Canada.
Okay.
The first one being, we love our food on Wrestling With. Poutine. Where is the best place to get it?
Okay. I have a hard time answering this question because it depends on what type of fries you like.
Okay.
If you like soggy fries, if you like those like thick fries that kind of are like are mushy,
No.
then I suggest, well, for those, I suggest La Belle Province.
Okay.
That would be, if you like thicker fries that are a little bit more like crusty, like, yeah, like a little harder and more golden, I would go with, any deli, like any homemade deli. Like, I would trust most of them. There's like places like they're delis. Like there's some that are called Jerry's. There's one that's called Quebec Deli. I would go with like a deli homemade, like not a chain franchise, like an actual like mom and pop store kind of thing.
Okay.
That's yeah.
Well, a lot of our guests from Canada, they're usually on the West Coast side,
Yeah.
and they always say you should probably check with somebody from Quebec.
Yes, because and I will go further in explaining that. So one of the important ingredients of poutine is the cheese, and the cheese that we use in Quebec cannot be found anywhere else in Canada, or anywhere else in the world, as far as I know. It's a specific kind of cheese that the slang term for that cheese is called squeaky cheese, or curd cheese, and you cannot find that type of cheese anywhere else. It's a cheese that doesn't melt very fast. It doesn't melt very fast at all. So when you pour the hot gravy on it, it doesn't melt. It stays kind of hard and squeaky when you eat it. And so that's a very important part of a real poutine.
Okay. You're giving me reasons to go to Quebec now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. The second Canadian exclusive question is Canada's greatest national treasure Ryan Reynolds?
No. He's up there. He's up there. I enjoy him. He's fun, and he does a lot of good. I don't. Yeah, he does. Of what I see, he does a lot of good. But no, he's not a. He's, we have other things. We've given other things to the world than just Ryan Reynolds, and he is good. I don't mean to insult him, but yeah. Didn't Bret Hart get voted? Bret Hart got voted like higher up on the most important Canadians than he did.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was a while ago, so to be fair, maybe Ryan Reynolds wasn't even part of, like, he may not have been popular at that time yet. So
Right.
maybe that would be different now. But yeah, no, I mean, again, I like him, but
Well, then, in your
yeah.
opinion, who is Canada's greatest national treasure?
Jessika Black.
Hell yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know. That's it. Again, these are hard questions you're asking. They're good, very good questions, though. I'd go with Celine Dion more than that's right. And I'm sure people would like hate me for saying that, but she's still done a lot of good for Canada.
You said Celine Dion?
I did.
Wow, the Iron Maiden showing her true colors.
Yeah, and my heart will go on. You can't beat that.
All right, on to the most controversial of subjects: pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I'm all right with it. Go for it. Put whatever you want in your pizza. Live your best life.
All right, so pro pineapple.
Pro pineapple, yes.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Bulbasaur.
Oh yeah. We love.
I have.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm leaning on a Bulbasaur pillow right now.
Awesome. We love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you
Mhm.
know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
I don't believe I do.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail. 'Cause a Doug can't spell.
I like it.
Yes, we love the late great Tracy Smothers trying to keep the memory alive on the show.
I like it.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical rock.
I would consider it. Yes, yes, I would definitely consider it.
But would you do it?
I think I would. I think so. I'm leaning towards yes, I would do it.
Alright. Well, just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual rock for over 15 minutes in a
For 15. Okay.
in a
So I don't know if
yeah.
I don't know if I would do it for 15 minutes though.
Well, it was a Tungsten Man match. That's an
Okay.
Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, maybe 5 minutes. I don't know that I'd do more than that.
Alright, fair enough. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So I see myself hopefully having accomplished more just things off my checklist in wrestling and in life in general, which will include like wrestling in more provinces and in more countries and just more like different people, a variety of different people, and just having traveled more. And I'm on the constant search or the constant, maybe not search is the word, but I'm on a constant journey of just chasing just contentment and happiness and finding your path in life and finding your goal. And because I think things are always changing, and so you always have to move and you can't stay put. So I feel like, as I hope in 5 years, that I'm not in the same place that I am now, and that I've achieved just a variety, or been a variety of different places, and that I've learned more about myself and more about others, and just that I've learned more in general.
Oh yeah. Now, what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Jessika Black is all about?
Okay, so I'll point to 2 recent matches. So I don't know for sure that it's necessary. Oh, actually, I'll point to 3. So the Wrestling Academy 2022 final match that I had with Cici Galavis. I think that encompasses very much what my energy and what I can bring to the table. It's the match that won me the scholarship to go to the Nightmare Factory. So I think it encompasses a lot of stuff that I can do, and I showcase myself a lot. And then I'll point out to maybe like more recent matches of this month that I think were a lot of fun, which was a match against MILEY on Femme Fatale. That should be airing soon. I'm not sure exactly where, but it should be released soon. And a match at QCW against Jeramy, the Mexican star, a wrestler who came from Mexico, and who, why I say that one was really good was because she brought a lot of high flying, and so it brought different aspects of me out, and it was a lot of fun, and got really well received, and I'm very happy with it.
Can we find these matches on YouTube?
So you will be able. So the first one, the CC against Cici Galavis, yes, you can find it on YouTube. You just look up Wrestling Academy 2022 Final, and it would be there. And the other 2 are not on YouTube yet, but they should be on YouTube soon.
Okay. Well, I will definitely look for the first match you mentioned on YouTube. I'll search the archives and I'll grab the link and I'll put it in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. For anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
All right.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I mean, I have to be.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Mick Foley.
Worst wrestler.
Ooh, pass. I don't like bringing down people.
We could give you the default answer.
What's the default answer?
You have chosen Eva Marie.
Oh, but no, I disagree. See, she got a lot of heat in her last run when she wasn't wrestling. And getting heat is part of wrestling, and she got a lot of heat.
Well, hey, you're the one that says he's the worst wrestler, so you know.
No, all right.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Asuka.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
No, either Stone Cold or the Outlaws.
The classic Stone Cold version?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Kayfabe is dead, unfortunately.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
I think it's a vegetable.
Are you locking that in?
I mean, I am saying that without certainty, but that's my guess.
Well, it is indeed a fruit.
Oh, all right. I stand corrected.
It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Oh, okay. You learn something every day.
Yes. We are educational, if not anything.
That's important. I am for that.
New Japan Pro Wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Well, I think okay. I think we are simulating a fight, and therefore you should be dressed for a fight. And because kayfabe should still be a thing, and therefore you should be dressed for a fight. If you feel that you can fight with your butt cheeks hanging out, then kudos to you. I cannot.
Okay, so full coverage.
Yes, yes.
And the main event, the last question, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, I have not. Not at all. Not even close.
And that is the correct answer.
Yeah. I don't picture that happening anytime soon either. But you never know.
Hey, if it does happen, take a video, send it to me.
I 100% will. I promise you.
That will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
No problem. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Once again, where can we find all things Jessika Black on social media?
Jessika Black on Facebook, Jessika Black Iron on Instagram, and Jessika E Black on X.
And merchandise, people can DM you.
Yes.
Alright, and you don't have to type that into your Google machine. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt.
Yeah, no excuse.
Yes. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Instagram, and Dread. Follow me personally at JamesJ993 for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Alright, Jessica, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Yep.
For our very special guest, Jessika Black, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.